Hello, this is Dr. Raglan of Zombie Hunter University. Today I have a few tips on the subject of boss looting. This is not a topic of much concern to freshmen and junior students hunting flaming zombies and titans in the blue, green, and yellow zones around Nastia's Holdout and Dog Stockade. However, it becomes an issue for junior and senior level students moving east into the more densely populated orange zones near Precinct 13 and Fort Pastor, not to mention the red and black zones in the farthest regions of Fairview. That problem is aggro, which can turn boss hunting into a de facto grinding experience and make collecting loot harder than it should be. Imagine you have just spent 5 minutes shooting a flaming wraith to death with your corpse shooter pistol. Eagerly, you anticipate your well-deserved reward. Unfortunately for you, flaming wraiths tend to appear in areas with high levels of zombie activity, which means that their deaths can unleash a tidal wave of aggro, forcing you to retreat from the loot spot. At this point, you have a couple of options. One is to stand and fight. That might be fun, especially if you want to earn some experience from grinding. The downside is you risk getting yourself killed before you can get the loot from the boss that you spent so much time hunting. So your best bet really, in many occasions, is to beat a hasty retreat. Now what you need to do is go around the block. Now what's going to happen sometimes is you'll clear some aggro, think it's safe to go back, but when you try, this is what happens. You run right into that horde of zombies that's pursuing you, which makes it pretty much impossible to get back to the loot spot, no matter how much you would like to do that. Yeah, you can try to fight your way through it, but you're just going to be back in that same situation you were in a minute ago, which is you're grinding instead of looting. And again, fine if that's what you want to do, if you want to get some experience, but if you're just trying to get the loot, that's not such a viable option. Here we see an attempt to do what you should do, which is lead the zombies away from the loot spot. We have a test subject who has just killed a wraith. She's trying to lure the other zombies away, but she's going to try to cheat a little bit. Instead of going all the way around the area, she's going to cut through a back alley here. And we're going to see that very often this doesn't work, because if you don't get the zombies far enough away from the loot spot, they're going to be there when you go back. You see, she's not gone that far, comes around the corner, the street is filled with zombies. Not only that, they're aggravated zombies, and you see here's the swarm that she outran. So she outran them, big deal. They came at her from another direction, moving back towards the loot spot where the dead wraith is. But by the time she gets there, you're going to see that she's pretty much in the same situation she was in before. Too many zombies for her to pause and collect the loot. So what you need to do is this. Backtrack all the way around the area, the entire perimeter of the area in which you killed the boss. This doesn't mean you have to run continuously. You can see here in this trial, I am pausing to get some loot from this truck. Why am I doing that? Well, obviously it's nice to get loot, but also it allows the zombies to catch up. In fact, I even fire a couple shots to get them interested in me again, and then I retreat some more. Why am I doing this? I want them to follow me. I don't want them to remain on the street with the dead boss corpse. Now that I've got their attention, I move away. I'm going to let this run the entire length, so I'm sorry if it's a little bit boring. You're going to see the entire trip around the block. Fortunately, if you look closely, you'll see that I am working with a speed boost, so I'm running 35% faster than usual, so this won't take quite as long as it would have otherwise. But the main point here is I try not to completely outrun the zombies. When I see one, I pause, I shoot it, I hang around long enough to make sure it's dead. I do keep moving. I don't stop outright, but at the same time, I'm not completely trying to outrun them. I kind of want them to keep up. Now, you don't see the entire horde here. They're somewhere behind me, but we know from past experience, from the previous little video clips you've seen, they're back there somewhere. If I stop long enough, they will show up. Okay, so I'm going to pause here for another attempt to get some loot, and that's really the last time I'm going to stop. At this point, I'm about as far away from the dead wraith as I can be. I know the horde of aggro is somewhere behind me there. Now it's time to run full tilt boogie back towards the loot spot. You see, okay, you might run into a few strays, but not a swarm. I shoot at them just defensively, but I don't hang around to see whether they're dead, because that's not my concern at this point. Instead, I come around the corner. There's the wraith, no one here to harass me. Now I can safely get the loot. That's how it's done. Hope this helps you in your looting activities. Good luck.